So the summer sweep up has been released from JAGEX. It goes over quite a bit. Elemental weaknesses all the way up here. So they're talking about elemental weaknesses, NPC defense changes, loot table changes, ToA, which this is going to be the primary thing I talk about today. So a bunch of ToA changes for Science Nightmare. Next, Huey. Hold on. I lost my cursor. Next, Huey. Perilous Moons. They're adding a new ring to it. Obor, Barfight, and Keys. Cerberus, Duke. Duke's pretty cool. They're letting you stack up like 3 of the items that you need but before you go kill it. So you start pumping it out, but they're going to increase HP, obviously. Other changes, and then all that. But we're going to focus on ToA today. This video is only going to be on ToA. It's only on ToA. And I'm going to start out with this, right? Everything that they're doing to the bosses is perfect, okay? But the drop table, I'm going to talk about that here in a minute because the drop table needs some work. I'm gonna do some Microsoft Paint for you guys and show you what really needs to happen. I'm not trying to make rage content. Okay, I'm not trying to make people mad. Made a sailing video. A lot of people got mad. I'm telling you what needs to happen for the game to be healthy. Okay, if you don't like my opinion, that's fair. But some of you guys want easy street, and then some of you guys want the stuff to be extremely hard. None of you guys are in the middle, and all you guys are crazy. All right, let's get into this. Baba. Protect melee now mitigates all Baba damage, so you don't have to red axe anymore. That's huge. Fewer baboons spawn, and they're one-shot, but they spawn more bananas. Hopefully, they don't spawn too many bananas. The room's kind of small once you start spawning 3 or 4 bananas per baboon. So, to chill out there, JAGEX. We don't want to just always run into a banana when the boulders come because then you ruin that phase, right? Damage from thrown debris is now fully shifted on anything you split the damage with. Boulders and sarcophagus alike, which should now make things a little less frantic. So they're reducing damage from the debris that gets thrown. They're splitting it better with the objects in the room. This is good. Akka. Protect prayers now mitigate more damage from Akka. That's good. So they're getting rid of some splash damage. Not all splash damage, but some splash damage is getting taken out. This is going to be really good for the higher invocations, especially the ones that hit you through prayer and then reduce your prayer. So those raids are going to be a little bit better. The Stay Vigilant invocation is getting a small rework. The changes look as follows. Akka will swap styles whenever he uses special attacks. This is really good because it aligns with Yama behaves really good if you play with the sounds on and when he snaps and then you have to do an action, you have to swap a prayer. There's something that goes on with that, right? It's especially with the rhythm of the fight. So that's really good, and it's almost like they're starting to learn how fights need to go. I saw a comment on Twitter how basically they're just cleaning up Mod Arcane's horrible development work. Now, I mean, we'll be honest. I think Mod Arcane also, I don't know who made Fasani. I thought he made Fasani. I could be wrong about that. But Mod Arcane, he's okay, right? They're hating on him, but dude, he's had to work on some pretty big projects. And this community's done some crazy stuff with this content, like getting the 28 ornaments on Fangs in one inventory, right? Or 20, I think it was 28. Might have been 27. I think it was 28 though. Akka will swap styles whenever he uses special attack with one of that. Akka will use special attacks more often than the base variant. This will mirror the numbers of specials he uses at the moment with the invocation active. That's cool. Whenever Akka swaps styles, he'll respect the swap predictable order as the base variants. Overhead swaps do rather than swapping randomly. So I like that too. Take the randomization out of it. Give us a little bit more of a pattern, right, of a rhythm, and then it's easier for everybody to go get their kits. But I'm not trying to make the game easier, but I'm trying to make the game more approachable. Still have the content hard, but The randomization throws people off, especially a player like me, dude. If there's any randomization there, then it's like, okay, I don't know what to think. I'm going to panic now, and I'm going to take damage. So then it's like you always take damage. It's kind of why I don't like demonic gorillas, because, like, you can predict some of their moves, especially if you're, like, away from them. They start walking to you, you protect melee. But, man, some of the taking 30s there, dude, just triggers me. I have that as a Slayer task. I want to do a video on it. I'm going to do a video on it. It's going to be me complaining a lot. So cat free, lower the magic defense of the soldier scarab. That's huge, thank God. Scarabs no longer scale with the defense of the raid level, thank God. Arcane scarabs are guaranteed to move after a certain number of attacks, regardless of those attacks hitting or missing. I'm okay with this a little bit. I want to know how long the timer is going to be before it moves. Because that thing smacks you when it moves, man. But it is going to feel good. Again, this takes some randomization out of it, right? So this does feel pretty good. Skull Bomb during P2 will no longer spawn underneath the obelisk or warden. Perfect. Perfect. Cursed Baboons and Baboon Shamans on Path of a Meccan, or at Becky, yeah, whatever. Take maximum damage from range attacks, bypass, and accuracy. Their HP will be increased slightly to compensate, but this should feel a lot better. That's good. 2 waves of monkey. 2 waves of monkeys will be removed from the path. They're removing 2 waves of monkeys. I don't know. Are they just adding more monkeys to waves? That's probably what they should do. That way it won't feel as like clunky to get through, and it's like pretty more like right. The amount of water required for the path of Crocs no longer scales linearly with the number of players, meaning there's less pressure on your beginner friends to get it right or to be stuck watching a cheeky crocodile. So you don't have to be perfect. That's what they're doing here. You can miss one. You can have the croc hit it once, or you can probably get hit once coming back. Or no, I guarantee this: you probably can't get hit running it. But the croc can hit it, and you'll be okay, and you'll still pass it, which is good. I hate the croc. That way you don't have to freeze anymore, right? That way you don't have to freeze anymore, or you don't have to be like, yo, get the croc. Like someone sits back, gets the croc, and kills it. The hit points on the obelisk of the path of Het are slightly reduced, so that 1 downs don't require boosting above 99 mining. Thank God. That's really good. Honestly, I'm in favor of that, and it's for Iron Man. It's a little weird of me, right? Miscellaneous changes. The big pot in the Nexus will become a fully functional deposit box. You know, it took them a year to put it in the game. It took them another 1.5 years to change it. Thank God. Any drained stats will now be restored at the end of a boss fight. Why wasn't it like that before? I swear to God, they're like Bungie. And not reloading your ammo after boss fights for like all of fucking 2 years of D2 or D1. Smelling salts will reapply their boost as they expire. That's pretty cool. And then you can do preserve. Hey man, I like that. That's good. This is good. This is good stuff. Loot changes, right? What we're going to do here is I'm going to skip over a lot of the words and we're going to go straight into the numbers because that's where a lot of this matters. 74% of the completions come from solo raids. 60% of the completions come from duo raids. And only 10% of the people that are playing this game are doing 3 to 8 mans. I think that's why they're changing all of these bosses. That's why they're changing all the mechanics of this raid. And that's why they're sweeping up the mess that we have with ToA. Chambers, it always feels like you can bring a newbie to it. Tob, honestly, you know you can bring a newbie to Tob. If you have 2 people that you've ran Tob with, and you have somebody that wants to learn Tob, if they've never ran Tob before, and you and that person are any kind of decent at this game, you will get through a 4-man Tob with a beginner. That easy. It's not bad at all. So fundamentally, this is why ToA is getting changed. Because no one's doing it with people. And if you are doing it with people, you're doing it with one person. Nobody is doing this with people, and nobody is doing their kits with people either. Some do, obviously, right? I'm speaking with a very broad brush here. A lot of people get their kits with people, or get their kits with people, but a lot of people also just do it solo. I mean, my buddies tell me just go do it solo because it's better. Don't have to worry about anybody. And Yama's a little bit better solo in P3 because it's not as hectic. It's just, I don't know why. It's just not having somebody in the room just feels like you have more control over everything. Okay? In terms of completions by raid level over the past year and the proportions of uniques they introduce, here's how things look. These numbers add up to 101% on account of rounding. Okay, so here's the thing. This is over the last year. Okay, so this is only the last year, it says. That's a really good point. And it's a really good point because, like, basically they're taking data from a pool of, like, it's been in the game for a while and people have gotten very good at the game. And this is the loot that's coming from it now, right? 42% completions are 22% of the uniques. Less than 1% of the uniques are coming from less than 150s, which is really good. And only 5% of the people were doing less than 150s, which is really good. That means people are learning and then getting out of it so they can get to the loot. That part of the raid's behaving how it should. Perfect. Then we get into 300 to 350s, 23% completions, 23% of the loot. So 1 for 1. Okay. 350 to 400 or 399, 11% completions, 16% of the loot. 400 to 450, 12% completions, 25% of the loot. 450 to 499, 40% of the completions, 7% of total uniques coming into the game, roughly. And then 3% for 500 plus, and then that's roughly 7%. So 500, we know that's for kit. 450, 499, it seems like those pieces of the raid are where they're supposed to be because it's almost like the same amount of percentage of players getting it. There's a percent difference there because obviously maybe that percent hasn't gotten good enough for the 500. But about the same percent of the uniques are coming from those very difficult pieces. I think those are good. I think that's good. I think that's okay, right? But what we need to do is we need to focus. They want less drops coming from the higher stuff, which is okay, right? I get that because the harder raid you do and the better drop you get, it feels like, well, then I need to do the hardest raid I can do, right? But then you're not having fun. There's like a point where it's like, it's kind of like economics. And it's like if you're hungry, the pizza's really good. The first pizza's really good. The second piece of pizza is really good too, but it's not as good as the first. And then the third isn't as good as the second and the first. So the fourth isn't going to be as good as the previous, right? That's how this feels. I think taking some of the loot away from the higher levels is fine. But man, this is what I want to talk about. Okay. The first thing that they're doing here, I think what you should do. This is okay. You leave this where it is, right? Leave this where it is. 250s. I'm going to get some flack for this. I'm not trying to rage. I'm going to get some flack for it. This looks like it's at 2.5. Dude, honestly, just cut it at 2.75. Cut it at 2.75. Okay. Because we come back over here. We're looking at, yeah. I mean, you're at like 3% there on a 250. Cut it down a little bit. Cut it down 0.25% for unique. For a 250 to 300. I think so. Now, come back. This looks like it's just over 4%. Honestly, just cap this at 4%. That just needs to be 4%. Right there, right? A flat 4%, no more than that. And this is just so everybody knows, this is the live. The light purple is the live, okay? You got to take man, I'm about to cut drop rates. People are not going to be happy in a way. I think you need to get this. That I think this is a like man. So this should be 4.5 right here. 4.5 for 350. Okay. That's what that is. I'm going to make an arrow. It's going to be good. There it is. Boom. 8% is crazy, dude. It's about 4.5, but it's I don't. It might be. I think this might be good. Then we'll give this a check mark. Good. Okay. Give that a check mark. 8% is too high. I agree with that. However, I think just over 6 is a little bit too much or too low. 400s are hey, we're gonna zoom in a little bit. 400s are a little just like meh with how it currently is. Now I know they're making the game better, right? Or they're making it easier. How about we just go 7% on this, right? Bring it down. I think we should bring it down, but I think we should bring it up a little bit. Oh no, wait, just 7%. 7%, okay? 450. Cut it right here. Should have been 10% the whole time. Really should have been 10% the whole time. But I'm not even going to go there. We'll keep it at 8. Now, I'm actually increasing the drop rate from what JAGEX wants to do. I'm just cutting it in half if you look at it. And we're going to get to like the lower levels in a minute. But the thing is, they're selling more fangs now, or they're taking more fangs out of the game, right? Well, you got to start bringing more fangs into the game. Plus, the fang's gone up to 30 mil. I think the fang's in a healthy spot, okay? Straight up, I think the fang's in a healthy spot. So we don't even have to, I don't even want to explain that part. Like, this is why I think we need to keep having drops come into the game. Less rate, sure, but you're nerfing so much stuff, man. The shot, like, this is gonna make a lot of stuff go up, which is okay. I have nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with stuff going up. It's just like, dude, you want the shadow is gonna be where the scythe is, and I don't think we should have the shadow exactly as much as the scythe, because I feel like the shadow is a better weapon to get for an introductory player, and I'm about to get into that and how the drop rates work or how they should work in my opinion. 500, dude. Honestly, just give them 10% on it. Give them 10% on it. Okay? If you do that, now this, look at this. Okay? If somebody really loves ToA after the changes, this gives them a 1 out of 10 chance to get a purple. If they run it, I would assume this is by themselves, right? So this is going to be, so I'm cutting the drop rate. I'm writing it in red because I'm cutting the drop rate. Actually, no, I'm going to write it in green. This should be in green too. I'll erase that later. Anyway. Yeah, this should be 8%. And then this should be 10%. I think this is a way healthier escalation of drop rate. I really do. Okay. So everybody will let me know in the comments how they feel about this. Trust me. The downvotes are crazy. Now let's get into this one. This is the beefy one. As you can see, I don't think you should get Missouri from a 150. Okay. I think Missouri should start at 200. I think you shouldn't get a shadow until 250. I don't think you should get a ward until 250. Okay? My point of view and how you play this game, I have a hardcore Iron Man. I need to play it. The plan for me would be probably to, like, when you get to end game, right, you do a little bit of Barrows, but you end up at Zulrah. I would go to Zulrah. I would probably get my blowpipe and after I get my Triad of the Seas. right? I would get my Trident of the Seas. I would go to Zora. I would get my Blowpipe. I would get my Magic Fang for the Toxic Trident. And then I would probably go grind out my Bofa. And if I couldn't get that, I would probably... you might want to get your Bofa before Zora. I know a lot of people do that. But what I'm saying is you're going to get your Bofa, and then you're going to go do Tears of Guthix. Or I'm sorry, while Guthix sleeps. And then after while Guthix sleeps, you're going to go get your Synapse. You're going to take that to Zammy. You're going to get your Spear. You're going to take that to ToA. You're going to get your Fang at 150 and your Light Bearer at 150, 200. And then you're going to get your Shadow at 250. And then you can take your and then you start getting your Missouri at 250. And then you can take your Shadow to Arma, and then you can upgrade your Missouri with the Arma gear that you get from there. And then you upgrade it that way. And you don't and that's a way you don't have to do experts as an Iron Man, but you still have to do difficult path or difficult content, and it's a healthier pathway to get you to do experts. That's how I'm talking about this. I'm not trying to rage bait you guys. All I'm trying to do is have you understand why I think the way I do. I'm not just throwing numbers out here. I'm trying to make this approachable, and I'm trying to make it pay off for the sweats. They need a dial back drop rates. Then let's do it. But I think you're doing it too much. You need to be a little easier on us, okay? But this is how you do it. You're easier on us. You still give us drops. Be easier on us. But you nerf how the Shadow drops just a little bit. Just a little bit, dude. Just drop it 100 raid levels. This is going to push people to do a lot more, too. Okay? Once you get that 300, open it up. Open it up. I think this is good. Proposed raids. I think this is good. Bring more of these into the game, sure. I think this. I don't even have a ward yet. But all of this, I mean, they're keeping 300s the same. This is all, in my opinion, this is good. Okay? This is good. It's about one out of 579 for a Shadow right now. If you're doing 300, they're gonna keep it the way it is, but they're gonna make the Shadow harder to get. Right? How do I feel about these numbers? Maybe, to be honest with you, maybe you buff this to 450. Buff that to 450. I'm about to go in. Hold on. And then you dial this down to 325. 330 actually. Do that to 330. Do that. A lot of people do 400s. 12% of people do 400s. It makes up for 25% of the uniques. Right? So when you come back over here, this is, I feel like this is offsetting it. Come back over. Look. Oh, actually, no, I'm wrong. Maybe I need to change what I said. 11% of completions. You know what? No, I'm wrong. I actually agree with them. On this. This is good. Yeah, no, I actually think this is good. This is all good. All of this is okay. Yes. 115, 1 out of 11, 138. Yeah. So they're making Missouri a little bit harder to get. Okay. I think this is good. I think you should have to do a 200 to get Missouri. I don't think you should get a Shadow from anything less than a 250. Same thing with award. Okay? Those are my thoughts on the Tombs of Maskets Summer Sweep Up. My voice just cracked there. Make sure to leave a comment and make fun of me for that. Make sure to leave a comment and tell me how much you hate my opinion. I know that's going to happen. And like the video or downlike or dislike the video. Either way, doesn't bother me. Hope you guys have a great day. I also beat Elden Ring Night Rain yesterday. Finished all the bosses. Hallelujah. Y'all be easy.